Hi everybody, welcome back to the Claremont Classic Garage. It's a beautiful Sunday here in late August. Actually, it's the last Sunday in August. Next week is Labor Day. I can't believe it. And you can see here we've got the float hooked up to the back of the old Ram 2500. So what in the world could we be up to? Well, looky what we got us here. A Raven Black 1968 Ford Galaxie 500 convertible. Wow. Don't let the pretty paint fool you. This thing is one rotten, poor old car. But anyway, for you 68 Ford aficionados, I believe if you open up your 1968 Ford brochure, you'll find there's a nice black Galaxie 500 convertible like this one in there. Anyway, let's have a look at what we got here. First we'll go around the outside. It's had one of those old school rust jobs done on it. They used to do the same thing. There was a chrome shop on every corner, so they'd pull the bumpers off, send them out, have them chromed. This is not show chrome, but they'll clean up nice. The back one's got an issue, but the front one's pretty decent. The whole bottom of the car is just packed with plastic. The original wheel lip moldings are gone and they're replaced with this stick-on stuff. I did the exact same thing on my Galaxie 500 when I was a kid. These rocker moldings, I don't know what they're off, but they do not belong to this car. They're too narrow, and the right ones do not have a joint in them. But hey, they got them on there and they work. I guess they went down to the boneyard and found what they could find that would work. It's got the old, we called these Raymac quarter panels. Same thing, I put these on my 68 Galaxie 500 when I was a kid. I used to go down to the parts store and buy them. They weren't great, but they were better than nothing. It's had a top put on it. The tops for these cars come in 3 flavors. If you pay the big bucks, you get what it's supposed to have, which is a glass back window with the black filler panel in between. 1968 was the first year for the glass back window being standard in the big Ford convertibles. The middle of the road, which my XL has, is a vinyl window with the fabric with the black piece across the bottom. And then on a 68, at least anyway, the cheapest option is this vinyl all the way down. This is well, this is what it's got, but it does have a new top on it. There's no rips or cuts or nothing in it. We'll see in a few minutes. I'm going to grab a battery and we'll see if it works. The back bumper looks pretty decent. It's got a couple of ripples in it along here, but the worst part of it, down on this end, you can see here the chrome has peeled off. And that was pretty typical of those corner chrome shop jobs back in the 70s and 80s. That's the job you used to get. The bottom of the trunk lid is all rotted out pretty normally. They've got the finish panel on here with self-drilling screws. What are you gonna do? This side is pretty much the same. The bottoms of the doors are packed. All the glass is in it though. It's got clear glass because it's not an air-conditioned car. Originally, you can see that the car was red and repainted at least once in its life as a red car. You can see here there's red paint all over from a repaint. And I believe, I have to dig a little deeper, but from looking around under the hood, the red paint that I saw under there, I'd say the car was originally red with a black interior. You can see here it's got power windows. That's a major bonus on these things. It's got power steering, power disc brakes. Let's see if there's anything in the glove box besides mice. A flasher and a tire pressure gauge. Ashtray? No. Did come with the keys. Proper scripted Ford keys. That's pretty cool. something here, April 1, I don't know, I'll look what that is later. It's got musical floor mats. All right, let's go see what's in the trunk. You can also see here another popular thing back in the day. The dash pads in these cars were absolutely horrific. So what you would do is take it out, take it to an upholstery shop, and they'd stitch up a cover like this for it. Again, not perfect, but it's a hell of a lot better than what was probably there. It's actually painted with two-stage paint. You can see the clear coming off it there. Well, I've seen worse trunk lids. You should have seen the one on mine when I was a kid. Wow. There's something good. The entire jack is there. That's good. The trunk floor isn't too bad. It's not, I'm sure it's patched up, but not like, you know, so they can sometimes be. There's the exhaust manifolds. You can see there, 302, right? Motor mounts, transmission cross member, brake booster. Problematic on these cars. I'm glad I got that. There's a drive shaft. What do we got in here? Just the accessories off the engine. So there's a fan. What do you got here? A crank pulley, two alternators, a starter. That's all good stuff, man. Have to see about getting all this water out of the trunk. The trunk can't be too rotten if it's holding water. There is one of the original hubcaps it would have been born with. The other three are gone. It's got some like moon discs on it. Yeah, these are good. C8 AE. Yeah, that's good. Underneath at the back, it's got the optional 9-inch. This car would have came factory because it's a small block car, a 302, starting in 67. 6-cylinder cars and 289 in 67, or 302 cars in 68 would have come standard with what they called the WER axle. They called it an 8.5. We know it today as the 8.8. And that was the very first use of it here in 1967 and 68. Now, in these cars, it only came with a 276 ratio. That was the only gear you could get in the WER axle. So if you ordered, even on a 6-cylinder car, if you ordered any gear other than 276, say a 300, like what this one has, or if you ordered a track lock differential, you automatically got a 9-inch. So this one was ordered with a 300 one-wheel peel. So that bumped it up to a 9-inch. That's what this has, a 300 one-wheel peel. Under the hood, it would have had a 302 two-barrel with a C4 transmission. Oh, the grills are pretty nice too. Let's have a look under the hood. So the hood looks decent. I think we can repurpose that or whatever. The bell crank for the brake booster is there. That relay there, that is the feed. I think it's actually a big circuit breaker. That's the feed for the convertible top and the power windows. Down here, you can see all cars use this. And then if it had disc brakes, this is the proportioning valve added there to the side. So that denotes this as a disc brake car. Yeah, pretty good. Original radiator is in it. It looks decent. Let's see what the inside of it looks like. Yeah, it's pretty crusty inside. Probably good for the scales. It's got a blue streak solenoid on it. Standard heater. I mean, looking around under the hood, the car doesn't look too bad. But man, I tell you, you get underneath it. Well, you can see here, down the bottom of the firewall, you shouldn't be able to see through there. That's the front body mounts. It's like that on both sides. Just rotten. And then the frame underneath, the frame is just steel plate from one end to the other. It's been plated and plated and plated and plated and plated. The floors have been patched up. She's definitely seen better days. But anyway, what we're going to do right now, lucky because I have the keys for it, we're going to drop a battery in this thing and see if anything works. Well, there's the first thing. We've got some lights sort of working. All right, that's just to make sure I've got some connection. Look at that. Headlights are on. The high beams are on. That's pretty cool. Well, I flicked the ignition on and the windshield wipers went, and it's telling me to put my my seatbelt on. Heater doesn't work. No horn. Wonder if the radio works. Radio's dead. Wonder if any of these windows work. That one works. That one doesn't work. I can hear stuff clicking on that back one. Nothing there. Okay, let's try this guy. Same thing, I can hear clicking in there, but nothing happening. Yep, clicking in there too. Okay, now I'm gonna give I'm not unlatching the top, but I'm just gonna give the pump a little tickle. Yep. All right, there we try to put the top down. Let me go see if there's anything in the top well in the back. You don't want to put the top down onto a bunch of stuff in there. Well, the top well is empty. Let's unlatch it and see if she'll go down. Well, I guess it works. Okay, before I put the top up, it's getting hot in here. Let me see if I can get this window to at least go down. Yep, that's good. Okay, well, now I guess I'm going to try and get the top back up. It's not going to be fun with those quarter windows being up like that, but hopefully, because it's out here in the hot sun, it should come back up. Yeah, that's a good sign. I got to put the top up in my convertible. I put it down in May, and it hasn't been up since. Oh man, it made it. Huh. Look at that. There we go. Well, at least something works in here. That's good. Oh, this is pretty cool. It's an application for 1969 registration for a blue 68 Meteor 8B33. I think that's a sedan. Y is a 392 barrel. 3130 Dufferin Street, Toronto. Pretty cool. I had the hubcaps off it, and it looks like it's got Chrysler wheels on it. They're probably 15 by 6. Don't know what happened to the wheels that belong to it, but it doesn't really matter. They were, I think they were 15 by 5. They were not too great, too skinny. But yeah, these are okay. They'll get used for something. The tires are shot, of course, but at least they hold air for rolling the thing around. A few years ago, I parted out a green 68 XL convertible that was even more rotten than this one. It was a disaster. Probably the most rotten car. Well, no, I couldn't say that. There was a couple that were pretty bad, but it was a really high up the rot-o-meter scale. Anyway, so you know, it is what it is. We're going to do okay. We're going to get a lot of parts we can use off of this thing, and we'll rehome the rest, and there'll be quite a good pile of scrap metal too at the end of it, I'm guessing. So none of it's going to go to waste. That's for sure. Another thing that I want to do with this, I want to get the body all cut down, but leave the front half of the floor pan and the firewall on the frame. So then I could screw around. I still have these grand dreams of putting a 5-speed in my convertible. I've got that 3550 Tremec that we redid a little while ago. So I want to use this as kind of a mock-up, and we can screw around and see if we can make that work, because I've got to make clutch linkage work and stuff, because the right pedals and linkage and everything, it's just crazy. There's a set on eBay right now for 800 American. That's nutty. So I found that as far as the shape of the pedals, 69 Camaro pedals are almost a dead ringer for the Ford pedals, and they're everywhere. So I've got a set of those. And there's another set of pedals that are also very close, and they're from 90 to 96 Dakotas, Dodge Dakota trucks. And I've found a set of those not too far, so I'm going to go grab those, and then we'll just screw around with it. Worst case to worst, I just keep my C6. It's not that big a deal, but yeah, it's just something to fool around with, you know. The further away you get from it, the better it looks, man. If you were just driving down the road and seeing that sitting on somebody's lawn with a for sale sign on it, you'd be making a U-turn, I tell you. And all like that, if it was all back together and running and driving, you might not notice all the rot as as easily as you notice it right now with there being no engine and stuff. But anyway, it is what it is. We live in the Salt Belt, and that's how it goes. Now we'll take her over to the barn. A crazier me would try to fix this car, you know. That 67 LTD up in the junkyard, I've been picking parts off. The frame is in great shape, and there's floor pans and everything in it. You can do a lot of sawing and cutting and get the frame of that car out of there, and you could fix this one. It could be done. But it's just a 302 Galaxie 500. It's just not worth the aggravation. That'd be a ton of work. There it is, nice and safe, out of the weather. It can sit down in here with its buddy. So that was fun. We got another 68 Ford to take apart. I wish now I'd have been able to get that car the first time it was for sale, because it was for sale, I don't know, 3 or 4 months ago. It popped up, and I was in the middle of, I just had too much on my plate at the time. And I said, I'll save that for later. Nobody will buy it but me. And it was gone. It was gone in a day because it looks so good. Like, you saw what it looks like just from standing back. It looks so good. The guy's phone was blowing up and he managed to sell it. Anyway, I got it off the guy that got it off him, so to speak. And whatever. He had to tow it from 4 hours away back, so I guess whatever I paid for it, I don't know, compared to what he paid for it, if he won, lost, whatever, it doesn't matter. In the end, I paid what I was comfortable to pay for it, and it's all good. Anyway, that's the end of that story. On to the next story. I'd like to thank you for tuning into our little channel here. Hope you'll come back and see us again. And until then, this is Kevin saying so long from the Claremont Classic Garage.